Welcome back to another episode with Wellness with Mo. Hi, my name is Mo, and this week's episode we have an amazing entrepreneur, someone who I recently got introduced to. He's done something amazing in Egypt, and of course I'm not going to tell anyone about it. He's a sports enthusiastic and advocate, and I think it's much better for him to introduce himself. With us, Seif Fawzy. Hi, Seif. How are you?
Hi, Mohammed. How are you?
Yeah. Great. Tell us, share with us and the listeners who you are and your journey. Basically, how do you did you become one of the greatest entrepreneurs in Egypt or the youngest entrepreneurs in Egypt? So, what was your journey like?
Thank you for the kind introduction. The TriFactory was founded in 2015. My name is Seif Fawzy. I am one of the co-founders. I'm the chief operating officer, and the TriFactory is Egypt's leading organizer of mass participation sports events. And mass participation sports events, for those who don't know, are events that are organized for athletes to take part in who are typically not pros. Our clients are our athletes, our clients are the people who actually take part in the event. And that's why it's called mass participation, because they are events that are organized for the participation of the masses. So these types of events are typically running races, triathlons, and that's where the name of our company comes from. The TriFactory comes from triathlon. And we organize a bunch of other races as well, obstacle course races like Tough Mudder, which you may have heard of. We organize yoga and wellness retreats and events. We organize a major yoga and wellness festival with our partners Osana called Solesi. And in general, we organize events all year long for a very dedicated follower base. And we're slowly expanding that follower base across the country, across the region, and across the world. So that's a very quick introduction. It's a very exciting company, and we organize some very interesting events. And I'm looking forward to telling you about it today.
Let me ask you. I mean, you graduated from university. Which year? 2000 and what?
UCL, University College London, in 2012.
Right, and you definitely had that idea of doing something different, something unique, something that has never been done in Egypt when you were in university, or when did what triggered you to just say one day I'm going to do a sports event for mass participation? It's something. I mean, I don't know. For me, it wouldn't come to my mind. Maybe I'm not an athlete person. I like sports in general, like watching sports, and especially adventurous and high octane sports. I used to rock climb, so these kind of sports really gives me a lot of excitement to watch. Yeah. But what made you think of doing some like a company like TriFactory?
Okay, so let me give you a little bit of the story of the genesis of our company and my part in it. So I graduated from university in 2012 and ended up coming back to Cairo to work as a lawyer. I was a commercial lawyer, a corporate lawyer for 2.5 years. I was happy, but I wasn't super looking forward to continuing my career down that path. I always played a lot of sports. I'd run track in high school and at university. I had been on the football team. I had played basketball. I had not been a professional or a semi-professional or a world-class athlete by any means, but I had always taken part in many different sports. My parents had always been very focused on sports and being outdoors as a kid. And when I came back to Cairo and I was just stuck in the office all day as a lawyer, something was definitely missing from my life. At this point, it's important to mention my partners, because that's when I met them. In the years between 2012 and 2015, I got to meet an amazing group of people, uh, Ayman, Mahmoud, and Mohammed al-Biltagi. And
Okay.
Ayman had faced kind of a similar journey. He had played tennis and played water polo,
Okay.
and he had suffered an injury to his knee. And when he had suffered that injury to his knee, his doctor told him, you can't play any sports laterally anymore. You have to move in a straight line. You have to swim, cycle, or run, because all of those sports move in a straight line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you do a quick Google search of swim, bike, and run, you're going to land on triathlon, because that's what a triathlon is. It's a swim, bike, run race.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really any triathlon community in Egypt.
Mm.
No one was doing triathlons. There were no privately organized triathlon races. There just wasn't really awareness of that sport.
Maybe because
And also,
uh, yeah, I think basically because we're not, it's not in our culture or DNA to find Egyptians doing triathlon events or triathlon you have triathletes. I don't think so. I mean, I think it's still it's become a new idea. Even uh, in the Iron Man now, I mean, it's now known in Egypt, and people go and apply to participate in Iron Man. And for those who don't know what's an Ironman is, I think you best know how to explain it. But it's basically the triathlon event of the world. It's the World Cup of triathlon. I don't know. I'm a football fan, so
yeah,
these things
it's.
come.
I mean, that's a good way to describe it, kind of. I mean, Ironman in general is the most famous brand when it comes to long distance triathlon. So triathlons are, at the end of the day, sports that combine or events that combine swimming, cycling, and running. And the longer they get, the more they become endurance type events. Okay, so you can do a triathlon in 30, 40 minutes. That's called a super sprint distance. And you can do a triathlon in 12 or 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours. And that's probably closer to your full Ironman distance. So Ironman is a global brand, of course. And I mean, part of the genesis of the TriFactory in 2015 um, was that, yeah, okay, Ayman had introduced the sport to Egypt. We came on board as co-founders, and us four are, the partners who kind of built the TriFactory starting in 2015. But the mission was to create or to organize sports events at the most professionally organized level that we could, international caliber, right here in Egypt, because all of us had taken part in races abroad. And that's
Okay.
really the genesis of the company. Why is it that we go abroad? We can go to London, we can go to Lisbon, we can go to, Paris. We had raced in all these races across the world. And we see these wonderfully organized races, amazing experiences, but
Mm.
we don't have that in Egypt. And all four of us are Egyptian. And Ayman and I have both had the opportunity to study abroad and to live abroad for certain periods of our lives. And it only made sense for us to come back to Egypt because we love our country
Mm.
and to do something at that level right here at home.
Okay.
And Ironman was definitely a major inspiration because they're a global brand that was, you know, famous for how well organized those races were.
Mm.
And we ended up going to race Ironman Barcelona, which is the largest Ironman event in Europe, in 2016. So all four of us are Ironman, and then we just really focused full time on organizing events here in Egypt.
Okay. So tell me, I'm a mindfulness and resilience coach, and part of my mission usually is when I talk to people like yourself or athletes or even fashion models. There's always people always look at you from the outside and they judge you. Like we say, don't judge the book by its cover. But so they judge you by your cover, by how you look. You look really like an athlete, and you must have I don't know, a lot of money, and must have had it easy to do what you wanted to do. But definitely, resilience played a big role in trying to uh, formulate such a company. I mean, it's not something easy to do. I mean, as an idea, I like it, but to sell it to the ministry here, sell it to people here, took a lot of effort. So how did you go about it? Did the people laugh at you when you told them about this kind of idea?
I'm not sure people laughed. I think people were skeptical. I mean, skeptical is a good word, skepticism, because a lot of people didn't think this would be a career. Um, it's a nice hobby. It's fun. You take part in these events, and now you want to organize them yourself. And there was definitely a bit of skepticism, like, really, you're gonna let go of law school and being a lawyer to do this thing. So there was definitely that. But once you believe in a in kind of a bigger vision, a bigger mission, once you know exactly what the end result looks like in your head, then you can be confident that that's what you're going to go ahead and try to achieve. And I think, I mean, I'm not sure if that counts as resilience or not. I think resilience is just staying the course and rolling with the punches, and you keep on moving forward.
Yeah, well, part of it. Um, when I coach people, there's there's something called visualization techniques, or
Yeah,
I guess you heard about it, and I use it a lot on an everyday basis, because my mission or my vision is to be a global speaker and coach from Egypt, local Egyptian, but global. There's no global coaches I've heard of from Egypt. I mean, we all work on a local and on a very low level. I also traveled abroad a lot, so my expansion in network and culture and how I was brought up. I'm brought up totally different from any person next to me. So visualization is not that you visualize you're standing in the office of TriFactory and the signs above you. The visualization is what are the steps you're taking today, tomorrow, after tomorrow to get there, and that's how you get to your company. You have it built into your brain, in your subconscious. So in actual fact, you know what steps you're going to take. You might not do it in a straight line, but you know where to go. And part of your journey, of course, and part of any of us, our journeys is we're always getting hit by punches from everyone, life, people who are negative and don't really understand where you want to go. So they always keep on punching you. But a resilient person like yourself or like myself just stands up and says, "Okay, let's go again. Next round, and let's go for another round." So, and I'm a big Rocky fan. I don't know, you watched the Rocky saga?
of course.
Oh yeah. I mean, his quotes in Rocky, which is about life will not will hit you harder, and it's the way you get up. Always, always resonates with me, because that's exactly how I feel. Someone punching you, you're falling, but if you keep on falling, you'll never get up. You will always, surrender. But the whole idea is to get up and punch back, and so I mean, I salute you that you had the bravery to keep going and not listening to those who stopped you in your way.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier when you have partners who believe in the same thing. I think one of the really big cliches of entrepreneurship is that you should always have partners, and I'm really glad that, I mean, obviously Ayman founded the company, and us three, we came on board as co-founders. But I think that kind of recipe of us four, the combination of us four, I don't think the company would be where it is today without that combination, because we each bring something very different to the table. And I'm really happy to play, a really important part of that, alongside three other equally important parts. So it's, I think resilience is very important, but I think having the right framework, having the right structure that allows you to be resilient, where when if someone's feeling down, someone else lifts them up. If someone is having doubts, someone else is reassuring. If someone is worried about the future, someone else can inject a bit of optimism. I think that's really key. I think if you're completely on your own, no matter how resilient you are, you can be demotivated. You can lose a little bit of kind of the drive that pushes you. So partnership is really lucky, and finding the right partnerships is a really rare thing. And I think that's a major part of the success of the TriFactory. I mean, we all love sports. We organize sports events, so we really understand the meaning of teamwork, the meaning of sportsmanship, the meaning of, like you said, positive visualization, understanding that it's not simply, it's not a corporate job. It's not a job where you're super secure and at the end of the month you get your paycheck and you go home, and you come back at the beginning of the next month and it's same thing. And if the company goes up or down, or if there's a crisis, you still get your paycheck at the end of the month. And you're detached from the consumer to an extent. So if the consumer buys another bottle of Coke or doesn't, I mean, that's not really going to affect your life. For us, you come to a race or you don't come to a race, or one race succeeds or doesn't succeed, or stuff like that is huge. I mean, every single participant is a major part of our journey. A participant who has a great time, or a participant who has a not great time at our events, that's a personal testament to what we did right or wrong. So it's very different, and I think it would be hard to imagine a corporate job that offers the same level of engagement. And I think that's one of the main things that I love about it. It's because it allows me to really connect with what I'm doing. And of course, it's sports, it's positive, it's outdoors, it's not 9 to 5 in a gray suit, in the air conditioning and in an office somewhere.
I can relate with you, Seif, in every word, because I mean, I've been all my life I've worked in corporate. I worked like for 15 years in a telecom company here in Egypt, and then I traveled to Saudi Arabia, and then I came back and I continued working. And then the pandemic. Many people say that the pandemic was the worst year of their life, but I think the pandemic for me was like a God's gift to me to tell me, start looking for your passion, forget about your corporate life. It's not an easy thing. I agree with you. We Any person who has a certain passion of something, no one understands what drives that person to do something like that. I know that definitely people around you did not understand why you want to do this. And when you were telling me the story about leaving your lawyer practice, I'm guessing that is your family talking and friends, because that's exactly what I have. family and
I
friends.
mean, I will say to give them credit that I'm not going to say that they weren't supportive. I'm just going to say that they were skeptical. You know, there wasn't like this is the worst idea ever and you shouldn't do it and you know just stick to your job and stuff like that. It wasn't like that at all. But it was very much like, are you sure that this is it? Are you sure you know this is what you want to leave law for? Okay, I mean there was skepticism, but also you know what was kind of comforting is that I was very young. I'm the youngest of all four partners. So I was around 23, 24 when I took that decision. When you're 20, 23, 24, and you leave and then something doesn't work out, you can still come back at 25, 26, 27 and kind
Yeah,
of restart and get back into it. And that was kind of a lifeline that was there that I was able to tell people who were skeptical, hey, I mean, just give it a try. You've nothing to lose.
exactly,
And I think
exactly.
that's really.
So tell me,
At no point did I feel like I wanted to go back, but you know, it's an easy way to convince people, like, oh, just try something. What are you going to lose if you try something? And you know, often the answer is you've got nothing to lose. I mean, try it
yeah,
and hopefully it works out.
exactly. So today in 2023, what would they say to you? I mean, are they still
2023, I think
skeptical about
uh,
that idea, or are they seeing the fruits of your idea and your partner's idea and how you changed landscape in Egypt?
I think. Well, I mean, well, I hope after 8 years that we've kind of proven our concept. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think I have kind of made them proud, my family and friends,
cool.
and all four of us have kind of shown that the vision that we had 8 years ago can be a reality and has become a reality. And we are, you know, I'm very grateful that year after year our company continues to grow and interest in these types of sports events continues to grow. And that in turn it's kind of like a self or a reinforcing mechanism, because when you see the fruits of your labor and come to life and something works out, then you kind of have more motivation and more confidence to keep on going with the next one and a bigger project and a bigger event and another international franchise, and keep on you know bringing bigger and bigger things to the table.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean 8 years later we're working hard, and we have rolled with so many punches, so many you know, I mean, so many event organizers around the world shut down during COVID. We
yeah,
managed to stay on our feet. So many event organizers around the world haven't come back. We've you know, after obviously a more of a virtual period during COVID, we've come back with major live events, even bigger than before. So I think yeah, I think we have proven that resilience a little bit, and I hope, you know,
yeah.
despite the fact that we are going through an economic
Crisis.
downturn, yeah,
Yeah,
economic a period of economic difficulty, I hope that we can continue to you know roll with the punches and hopefully come out
yeah.
on top on the other side.
Of course. And before we had this interview, I wrote like an article on LinkedIn. Um, just it's called "Just Do It" because I just watched the movie Air about Air Jordan and Nike and all that, and story is nice, but what really moves me from the company itself, its tagline. I mean, it's I wrote it's so simple yet so effective. When you just think of it, so simple. You wouldn't think of it as a shoe company. You would just think of it as, yeah, just do it. So if you have a dream, don't keep on saying, yeah, I have a dream and I have the ideas and I want to do this and that and stay on the couch and plain and wine all night. I mean, just go up and take the first step. Yes, it's scary. Yes, everything's difficult, but there's no easy road to success. So I wanted you talk, to explain to me. Definitely on that road, you had a lot. You didn't have a lot of success. You had a lot of failure, because I think failure is the key to learning how to be successful. So I want you to explain to me, like, well, what happened in the journey. What are the failures and lessons learned? Because definitely there are a lot of youngsters, and you can relate more than I am. I mean, who think that going, alone and doing a startup is the piece of cake, and everything, and we have the idea and so on, but they don't know that there's always uh, pit stops and pitfalls that you have to go through, and if you don't go through it, then you'll not succeed. So what's your opinion?
Yeah, I think. I mean, firstly, I'll quickly go back to what you said about Nike and just do it. I mean, that what you've described is the brand, and the brand that we've built is something that I'm very proud of, because it's our brand that creates so much credibility. People understand what the TriFactory offers. People know what to expect when they come to our events, and I think um, to pretend that everything has been very smooth from day one, as if it's been an upward trajectory, for 8 years, is it's just untrue, and it's unrealistic, and no company works that way. Obviously, you have kind of like hills and plateaus and valleys, and you keep on going up and down. And some events, despite us thinking that they would be super successful,
Yeah,
turned out to be not that successful. And some events that we thought were just kind of like smaller ideas that wouldn't be that exciting have exploded in popularity. So it's constant trial and error. It's constant to trying to understand what your consumers and what your clients want, and listening to their opinions. And it's constantly about kind of innovating, but also staying true to your brand. We offer mass participation sports events that are organized at international standards in Egypt. That's what we offer. We say that very clearly. We communicate that very well. Our events look a certain way, they feel a certain way. And I think that's one of the things that's really helped us navigate the ups and downs.
yeah, yeah.
To say that, um, because you mentioned the word failure, and I mean, the word failure, I think, is often misused, right? So a failure, if it's a lesson learned, then it's not a failure. If you fail at something on the surface, but at the end of the day, you've learned something that you're going to take and use to innovate in the future, then all of a sudden you've flipped that on its head, and it becomes something useful to you. And I think that's always how we look at mistakes made. That's always how we look at errors in judgment at times. That we say, okay, so we tried this. It didn't work out perfectly. It didn't work out at all. But it's perfect because now we know what not to do, and now we know what to do next time. And all of a sudden, that failure becomes a positive. You
Yeah,
know, and that's what we try to do constantly
yeah,
with you know with our work. And I think that, I mean, that's a lesson that can be applied to almost every single company and every single, even if it's not even if it's not business, it's a life lesson in general. You fail at something, or you make a mistake at something, now you know what not to do, so it's actually a good thing rather than a bad thing.
yeah. What's amazing is that, what you're saying is really resonates with me, because a lot of people I meet, and people who have dreams, they don't want to do the difficult part because they are afraid of failure. I mean, here in Egypt, most of, I mean, I'm not going to generalize, but the majority of people I meet see failure as something bad, something negative, something, no, I would not do not want to do it. They have such a fixed mindset that they are afraid of taking, the extra step. I always say, that if you're in your comfort zone, it's okay. I mean, I have nothing against you. Keep yourself in the comfort zone, but you don't know what you're missing. I mean, maybe there's something better than where you are. You'll never know. I mean, those people who stay in their jobs for like ever and ever and ever um, die without knowing maybe there's something better for them, something they can discover. And this is what I've been trying to help people to realize, that you have a dream, you go after it, no matter what, no matter how difficult it is. Because there's no playbook of easy success, quick wins. People want quick wins and and take their money and run. There's no such thing as quick wins. If you want something, you have to fight for it and do the hard work. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, and look, I'll be honest and say that there is, a lot to desire from that security and that safety of a very stable corporate job. I'm not going to deny that, because the way we live isn't for everyone. I mean, we started the company young. We didn't have any kind of significant family obligations at the time, and so on. So it was easier for us to kind of take that step. Whereas, if you ask me today, if I was working at a corporate today, would I take that step and follow my dreams? Uh, I'm going to think about it, not once, not twice, but, thrice and several more times as well, because it's a journey where you have to sacrifice income at the beginning. For sure, you have to sacrifice so much more time and so much more effort and so much more, just in general, like sleepless nights and anxiety, and it's a lot to handle, for sorry, for something much bigger, at the end. But you do have to put in, I would say, twice the effort that you would put, and have twice the anxiety that you would have had you, like I said, known that I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna, put in the hours, 9 to 5, get my paycheck at the end of the month. The
Yeah,
company goes up or down, or it's a profitable year or not profitable year. I've got my stuff and I'm good to go.
yeah, yeah.
So it's two ways to look at it, right? There's no right or wrong answer, but I do encourage people who have the ability to try something, like you said, to go for it, because the same mindset that I had, if you have the opportunity to try, if you have nothing to lose from trying, then why not try?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. I mean, a lot of people come up to me, and they think that we have it. Yourself, myself, you have a company and you work for yourself as a private company, and I work as a freelancer, almost like a company by myself. But they always desire our way of life, and they don't really see that they're luckier. Like you said, they have security, they have benefits. They don't need to worry if the company is up or down. I mean, unless of course something massive happens like layoffs or anything. But uh, at the end of the day, they're secure. We have everything to lose, everything. But
Yeah,
yeah, but the only thing that we have, they don't have, is passion and the hunger and the desire to be something better. And because a lot of coaches and a lot of successful people say, when you know what you really want, and what you desire, you go after it no matter what the cost is. The cost is high, but you're going to keep going and trying and failing, falling and learning, and ups and downs. I mean, a lot of people think, for me, they all think that because I'm a mindful coach, so I'm always positive and happy and smiling, and that's not the truth. I mean, I have my days, my downs, my ups. Same thing with you, definitely. But it is how we choose to live our life. Um, so
absolutely. It's a choice. I mean, for many, it's a choice. For some, it's not. But it's a choice, and I mean, if you make the right decision and you follow your passion, and for me, it's very much sports.
Yeah,
If you do follow your passion, I think you're gonna get to where you want to go at some point.
of course. And I wanted to ask you, what kind of advice would you give someone young who wants to start his own business today?
Like I
What-
said, I would say if you have the opportunity to try, you know, and you have a passion and you know what that passion is, then try. Do something different. Do something that you want to do deep down inside. And I mean, if it works out, it's going to be the best decision you ever made. And if it doesn't work out, you're going to be able to take that lesson. You're going to be able to take that experience and repackage it into something else that's going to help you on your journey. And it's something that I can say from experience. I'm not that old, but it's something that I've seen in on my journey many times, from being a part of this company to being a part of every event, to coming up with ideas and trying out something new at events, or completely new concepts at events. Sometimes it works out and it's wonderful, and when it doesn't work out, you take that life experience, you repackage it, and it helps you out in another way. So there's no um, the fear of trying kills so many amazing, wonderful ideas.
yeah,
And I think that if you move past that barrier of fear of what other people think, of someone judging you, if you move past that, what's on the other side is really exciting.
exactly, exactly. That's amazing. So I always like to ask my guests this question. I want you to. What's one word that would describe you, or one phrase that describes you?
Uh, so it's a tough question, Mo. I'm not sure what that would be. I feel like I'm someone who has a lot of different interests, and I'm not sure one phrase or one word is there. But I think positive is the one that I would like to attach to myself, because it's something I always try to pride myself on, which is to remain positive and practice gratitude. Because once you're grateful for what you've done and what you can continue to do in the future, I think that puts you in a really special place.
Yeah, yeah, that's really amazing, and I could really relate to what you're saying. Positivity is good, especially in your line of work, because you have a lot of factors that are not in your hands, and usually, like the number of participants, and if the weather is okay, and if everything is fine logistically, and everything is organized well. So I'm guessing you have to be a positive person to be able to see the good things
Yeah,
in yeah.
you do. Yeah.
So here's my last question to you. What's your dream? What's your next step after TriFactory?
Well, my dream is to see the TriFactory truly become global. We're proud to organize events at a global standard right here at home, and our dream is to take that out of Egypt, across the region, and across the world. And that's our dream, and we're working on it as we speak every day. It's been 8 years, and we're growing, and very soon, inshallah, that's where you'll find us.
That's amazing. I really hope that you do become a global a global movement, something made in Egypt, done by Egyptians, because I believe that we are as people, we're very creative, very smart. We have the right tools, and if we have the right environment, we can do amazing things. I always say that because history tells us that. It's not something I'm telling it's the history, and everyone does it. We want to do something amazing. You can always do it. So I really hope and hopefully I'll join you in the next marathon.
Hopefully, we'd love to see you there.
Hopefully I can continue the 2 kilometers, not even the 5, but
Whatever distance. I mean, we always say we're for all ages and all abilities, and it would be wonderful to have you join us.
Thank you for your time. I mean, you're such an inspiration for someone old as me, but you're still an inspiration because I love inspiring stories, and I love people who go after their dreams and realize it even in our beautiful country, with all the difficulties that we face. You always give me hope that there's always something good to look forward. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you,
Seif.
Mo.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you everyone for listening today. God bless you, and be safe. Until next week, be mindful.